We are going to put together a yin practice, just about 30-35 minutes long, so that you can fit it into your day whenever you feel you need a little dose of yin. We're going to work with the idea of hope. So please start in an upright seat. I'm on a block, legs are crossed, hands rest on your knees. And then if you're comfortable, allow your eyes to close. If closing them doesn't feel good, just lower the lids a little bit. Start to make a marked arrival on your mat today, connecting to the idea that this next half hour or so is for you. Hitting that little pause button on your life. Good. Start to notice your breath. Follow the inhale and follow the exhale. Encourage your breath to fill your belly and your ribs and your collarbones. And your exhale to soften you, collarbones, ribs, low belly. And as we shift into this pattern of deep belly breathing, we send a nice message to our nervous system to slow down, to make a shift from a state of doing to more of a state of simply being. Notice any tension that you're holding in your body. Maybe it's behind the eyes or in the jaw, shoulder blades, seat muscles. And let everything just soften to the best of your abilities. Let your awareness make its way to the space of your heart. Just check in with how you're feeling today. And then lifting your awareness up to your third eye, that spot between your eyebrows. Check in with your thoughts. And know that whatever you find in this little inventory search here, it's fine. It's just a moment to see how you feel. Your starting point. Notice the sensations of the air as it comes in and out of your nose. All the places where your clothing makes contact with your body. Start to notice the sounds in your room. Letting each sound come to you one at a time, and then let it move on to make way for the next. And then expand your awareness beyond your room. What do you hear there? Taking all of these little steps to become more mindful, more present as we begin. Take your hands together in a prayer, thumb knuckles to your third eye, bow your head. Just remind yourself what you're working on today. And let that intention take up space in your heart and in your third eye, allowing it to be your guiding wisdom for your practice today, both on and off your mat. Take a deep inhale. Open your mouth and exhale. One more time, big breath in. Big breath out. Good, let your hands just come down by your side body here. Walk your shoulders down and find a nice long spine. I want you to take a moment, maybe a breath or two here, to just feel super grounded, right? Do a little bit of focus on your root chakra, your sitting bones here. Just coming back to basics. This idea that in this moment, you already have what you need. And if you're feeling unbalanced or unstable for any reason at all, right? There's a lot going on in the world. Just come back to the breath. Come back to the idea that you are rooted and that we are all in this together. Different boats, of course, but you are not alone. Good, take a deep breath in, reach your arms up over your head. And then exhale, float them down. Good, again, inhale, reach up. And exhale, take it down. Good, from here, we are going to take a little bit of time to come into our butterfly. So I'm gonna stay up here on my block. Soles of my feet will come together. And then press your heels a little bit further away than where they first landed. And I want you to really be sitting on the tops of your sitting bones if possible, so you feel your pelvis tip forward a little bit. Good. Great place for blocks here if you want them under your knees. If you already have a good level of flexibility, you can always take a block under your prayer feet here. It just brings a little more challenge. Yin is a practice that is suitable for everybody for the most part. And you can up level it or down level it to meet your needs. Just remember, nothing we do should hurt you. Take a breath in, lift your sternum, drop your shoulders, tuck your chin a bit. And then from your hips, come forward. Good, maybe you only go a couple inches, that's fine. Let your fingers come to rest on the floor. And here we are at our first edge. The practice of Yin has a couple of little reminders that keep us safe and mindful and really get to the heart of the practice. The first one is that we hold at an edge, right? This place where you feel something in your body, the area that we're targeting. Right here, it's inner thigh and outer hips, a little bit of low back. And the sensation is about a 3. It's enough that you know you're doing something, but not enough to make you change your breath pattern. Secondly, we hold for time. Poses today will be mostly 3 minutes in length. And we do that because the Yin practice is working the more plastic parts of our body, ligaments, tendons, bones. And it takes a little more time for that to happen. And then we hold in stillness. And I want you to really realize that that doesn't mean you're a statue, right? You can change the shape, keep seeking that edge. But it asks you not to fidget in the physical body nor in your thoughts. Good. If you're here and your edge has sort of moved and your back is nice and healthy, you can start to round. If your back has issues, sciatica, disc issues, keep your spine nice and long here. And then take it to your next edge. So on these online practices, I try to make sure that there are no special props needed. If you have more blocks or a bolster, you could take it across your feet, rest your arms or your head. But wherever you are, notice if you are resisting the floor. So instead of, if you can see this pressing away, try to avoid that. And instead, have this idea of being held and surrendered. Go ahead and close your eyes.
Maybe soften that spot between your shoulder blades. Soften the spot between your eyebrows. And keep checking back in. Encouraging the muscles to soften away from your bones. Even if it's just a little bit at a time with each exhale. The idea of hope is what we're going to come back to over and over again today in our practice. And this idea that hope is our eternal strength. In any given day, it's super easy to lose hope, to lose faith that things are going to work out the way you planned. And that's normal. Everybody feels that way. But our work is to come back, uncover the heavy so that we can see the light and the lessons and move forward. If you wanted to reach your fingertips forward and turn the palms up, sometimes that's helpful. Maybe drop your head a little and roll it from side to side. Let the chin tuck to the chest if that feels okay in your neck. Take 5 more rounds of breath. At the end of your third exhale, start to come out of the pose in the same way that you were holding. So if you were rounded, roll back up. If your spine was long, come back up long and flat. And then let your hands rest, just maybe gently on the knees. Lift the crown, close the eyes. Pause here in this place of after, this rebound place. And just like you did at the beginning, check in with your body, with your heart, and with your thoughts. See how it feels. Any sense of running current in the body. Any feelings of relief or emotions that come up. Allow all of that in. Your eyes were closed, let them open slowly. Close your knees up. I'm going to stay on my block. Take the hands behind you and give your chest a lift. So start here. Maybe you look up to where the ceiling is. Feel nice and round, nice and open across your chest in a counter pose. And then take your feet a little wider and start to windshield wiper. Right, add the gaze if you like. Coming back to that sort of neutral place. Good. Make your way back to a seat. We're going to, our next shape is going to be a shoelace. So this right leg is going to start off long and your left leg will come in. I'm still on my block. I find that works better for my body. I want you to explore how it works for yours. So you're working to get this knee on top of the other one, okay? Sole of the outside edge of that foot is nice and flat. And if it's in your practice, you can bring that right leg in. Try to stack your feet, move them away from your hips, and just start upright. So if you went here with me and you are feeling no thank you, your option is to undo and stay right here. So it's a half shoelace. The thing that happens here for a lot of people is a ton of pressure in the back of your knee. If you have a block or a rolled towel, you could put that there. So I think I'm going to come back so that both legs are bent in, finding that full expression of your shoelace. And before we settle in for time, I just want you to be comfortable as much as you can in this big hip opener. So I have a good amount of space here. You could always put a blanket in there if that bothered you. What you don't want to do is create stress in any limb that's not supported. So I don't feel a lot of stress here, so I'm okay. But if you did, please pad in that space. And then sit up nice and tall. Wiggle your toes a little bit. To come back to that idea of hope, right? We've all had plans canceled. Things have changed. My whole schedule has changed. And I could spend time being sad and frustrated about that. Or I could remain hopeful and see what could be next. And sometimes it's a small shift in attitude like that that can really change the way that you see your current circumstances. Without hope, there's really not a lot to look forward to. So I ask you, maybe there's a situation in your life that feels a little dire or frustrating. See if you can look at it in another way. Is there another door that's going to open? You could stay upright wherever you are, or you could start to fold your body forward. Again, same options. Long spine here or round, you choose. It's a quote I love by Maya Angelou. She says, "No matter what you are going through, allow hope to be your guide. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. Invite one to stay, right? Invite in hope and let go of fear." And start to come upright again, nice and slow. You have your left leg over. We're going to take a twist over to the left. So it's a soft twist. Left fingertips are behind you. The chest is up. The shoulders are soft. And think about the idea of rinsing. I know for the way I'm wired and the way I was brought up, my parents were very much glass half empty people. And I've worked for the last 15, 20 years to undo that wiring. And it's a conscious choice, right? Our initial reaction is our habit. What we do next is our choice. We're only going to be here about 20 more seconds in this twist. Good. When we come out of the twist, I really want you to start to come around through the belly button. So start to bring the belly button back, and the rib cage, and then the shoulders, and then lastly your head. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Good, wiggle your toes. We're gonna start to unwind this. So let's just bring the feet forward for a minute, particularly if you have some hip issues or some knee issues. Good reminders are it should not hurt you, okay? And if your knee hurts in those big hip movements, what happens is the hips aren't open enough, they don't have enough mobility, and it sends that stress down to the next joint, which is your knee, and we don't want that to happen. So no pain in the knees, all right? We're gonna go the other way. So the left leg is long, the right leg will cross. Sit up nice and tall, right? Get out of that bowl of your pelvis. Bring the heel in or don't, totally up to you. Sit nice and tall on your blocks. And this side looks totally different. I can see myself while I'm recording this, and it looks entirely different to me. And that's okay, right? The left and right sides of our bodies have different experiences, different injuries, different wear patterns. So check in, make sure the feet are soft, knees are as stacked as you can get, support anything you need. And then close your eyes if you like, take a few breaths just upright. And if you wanted to explore, you could start to lean forward. Right, and I want you to be mindful of your ego. Your ego always says more is better. Follow your instinct. Follow the messages from your body. And I just noticed that I found myself pressing the earth away. If you feel that, try to walk your hands a little bit more forward and bend the elbows so that you don't create tension in your upper back muscles. Find your breathing. Keep working softness into the breath and into the feet and into the hips. Staying really available, really present, really tuned in to what arises when you're here. Notice if your flexed feet are keeping you up a little bit. Soften the feet. Tuck the chin in. Maybe rest your head on the knees or a blanket or a block. Take 5 more rounds of breath right here. At the end of your 5th exhale, when you are ready, belly muscles contract a bit, supporting the low back. Start to rise. Take a moment in the upright, shoulders down, your head is up. And then take a nice easy twist. So I like the idea of twists when I'm working through sort of disappointments or new challenges, because after you twist, you always return to the center, right? You take a new challenge, maybe you take a little hit somewhere. It's all right. You have this inner core, this inner strength that you are always coming back to with the lessons that you've learned. About 20 more seconds right here. Let the knees be heavy and support them where needed. Knowing that you can come out of any of these shapes at any time. There's no red ribbon from me if you make it the full minute or 3 minutes. Listen to your body. 3 more rounds of breath right here. Okay. And then same thing, it's a slow mindful release. So start at the belly button, bring the ribs back. Ooh, bring the shoulders back, and then lastly your eyes come forward. Take a moment or two right here. And then uncross your legs. So I tip back a little, it just makes the transition a little easier. Good. We'll squeeze the shoulders, lift the heart, and just a very gentle windshield wiper. You should really feel that in your hips. Okay. From here, we're going to come to a tabletop. So the block can go to the top if you have one. Hands are under the shoulders, fingers spread so wide, knees under hips. And then pull your belly in as you press the floor away. And then inhale, tip your tail, heart forward. Exhale, round in and up. Inhale, try to really slow it down so that you can feel those places where cat begins and cow ends, right? They're not one pose, two separate poses. Good. Back to your tabletop. Curl your knees, your toes under, and find a down dog. So knees are soft, hands are strong and pressing. Walk out your dog a little bit. Say hello to the back body, backs of your legs that we just worked a ton. Outer hips. And then we're coming into pigeon. The right side, right leg will lift. Maybe there's a stack and an open. And then bring the right knee forward to the right thumb. And pause. Get your block. Take it under the right booty. And then stretch your left leg long and back so that your hips are forward and down. Move this front leg as forward as you can so your hips are level. And just take a couple of breaths right here. So I know that everybody has a different tolerance in their knees. If you know that for whatever reason, a torn meniscus, hamstring issues, low back issues, this doesn't work for you, you would come to your back body, get into a shape of a bridge, cross your right ankle over your left. Good. So for a lot of us, right, we're inclined to just sort of start to flop down. I want you to go nice and slow, just meeting your edge as you do, right? Bend the elbows a little so that the body can soften. Spread your back toes so that they're soft, not engaged. And then you take it to your spot. Maybe you come down to blocks, bolster, forearms. What I want you to be mindful of is the placement of your arms. You don't want to create tension in your back. So if you can walk the arms forward and wide a little bit so that you can have the chest wall drop down a little. Maybe your head is on a block. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. And all I want you to do is breathe. Right? And this idea of hope. Sometimes I fall into it. Every day I get up and I weigh myself and I think, oh, I thought I'd lost weight. I just hoped that I had. I hadn't done a darn thing about getting there. So hope without a plan is just a wish, right? It's just a wish. We are given all of this opportunity to create new things, but it requires a little bit of hard work, a little bit of heart, luck, endurance, support. But hope with action is what keeps us moving forward, keeps us vibrant, creative, engaged, involved. What is it that you hope to achieve in this new way of living? Keep breathing deep and full. I chose these shapes today because they target the liver and the gallbladder meridians. Side body, inner thigh, back areas. And I chose this because when your liver and your gallbladder are imbalanced, we can often feel anger. And anger will keep us from being hopeful. So the poses here are stimulating the meridians, encouraging a strong, even flow, unblocked of chi. Okay, take 5 more rounds of breath. Soft fingers, soft shoulders, soft toes. Good. At the end of your third exhale, you'll start to walk the hands in. Pause here in this upright for a moment. Okay? Take a deep breath in. And just open your mouth and sigh it all out. Let go of all of that emotional baggage that we store in the hips. Set it free. Curl your back toes under. And then take your right leg up and back. Go slow, circle it out. And then return to your down dog. Left leg goes up. Open it maybe, some circles, spread your toes. And then draw the left knee toward the left thumb. And again, blocks are nice here. Keeps your hips level and flat. Good. Start to stretch your back leg back. Walk the left toes forward a little bit. And then just take a second to be here, right? No rush to the bottom. Each side will give you a different message again. So start to come into your place, your sort of first edge with your Sphinx. Try to soften that spot between your shoulder blades. I'm looking at my notes over here. There's another quote I love from Desmond Tutu who says, "Hope is being able to see there is light despite all the darkness." Right? The light is the hope. The dark is the fear. Starting with your back toes, soften them, spread them wide. Let the kneecap come down even heavier onto the floor. The front of your right thigh just release. Outer hips soften. Seat muscles soften. And all the muscles along your spine release. Shoulders melt. Lower jaw unhinges from the upper jaw. Eyes soft. Facial muscles all relaxed. Take the next minute or so and breathe deeply into the outer edge of your left hip and into the front of your right thigh. Notice if you've lost the attention to the breath, bring it back. If your neck starts to become uncomfortable, please support your head on a block, or a little hand stack like this works. That idea again of surrender and support. Where is there resistance in your body or in your heart? Just notice it. See if you can loosen the grip. Five more rounds of breath. At the end of your fifth exhale, start to rise. Please pause in this upright, hands under shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And a nice breath out. Good, curl your back toes. Left leg slowly and mindfully up and back. And then back to your downward facing dog. Lower your knees. We're going to come right down onto our bellies. So you could take a blanket across your mat here for your hips. You'll start to lay down nice and easy. Lengthen as you lower. Rest your hands on your head. Or your head on your hands. Wiggle yourself a little bit from side to side. Just sort of let the whole front body settle. Widen the feet a little wider than your hips. And as you're here with your head down, start to check in with your low back, right? Is this enough sensation? The target area here in Sphinx is the low back. So if you already have a little pinch, which is what we're going for, I want you to stay here. The option, if you need a different edge, is to come up onto your elbows. Hands are soft, and let your body drop down, right? So a lot of times I want you to really notice when you're pressing and engaging, don't do that. So even though this is a familiar shape in a vinyasa class, the intention behind the shape is softness. Good. So much of what we do is a result of our intention. Good. Again, the option is to tuck the head, place it on a block. And then just start to breathe. Right, you can feel your belly on the earth. And often what stands in the way of hope is fear. I know for myself, I'm working on a couple of new adventures, and it's very challenging to believe that you have the time, the resources, the audience, right? It's super easy to imagine that it won't work out and you stop before you start. It's just a wish. But I encourage you with each decision you make going forward to move beyond the fear, right? Sometimes the phrase, if not now, when, comes back to my mind all the time. Being in my middle 50s, life as it is, we're all in this together, right? Things you've wanted to do your whole life. Maybe now is the time to turn it from a wish into a plan, one step at a time. the remaining minute or so in this shape, can you make your inhale be 4 counts long? And a pause at the top. And your exhale 4 counts long. Pause at the bottom. Imagine that each breath in fills you with limitless possibilities. And each breath out clears away the debris, the things that stand in your way, starting with fear. If you're here and that edge has been met and you're back at a 0 sensation, straighten the arms, turn the thumbs out, and sink your body back into seal. Please know that if you tried this with me and it doesn't work and you're like just waiting for the time to be over, come on down. It's not worth it. Soften your glute muscles, right? The glutes are what wants to protect your low back here. We need them to sort of breath by breath soften their grip. 5 more rounds of breath wherever you are. At the end of your 5th exhale, you'll start to lower and lengthen. So think about guiding the crown of your head forward. Come back to your hand pile. Be still for a moment, right? Resist the urge to rock. Take 20 or 30 seconds in this after. Maybe there's a slight wiggle. Maybe you take the legs up and windshield wiper them a bit from side to side. And then legs go long. They work their way toward each other. Hands by the shoulders. I want you to count to 5 as you start to leave this shape. Go slow. Body's been held sort of delicately. The tissues are hydrated and lengthened and a little fragile. So honor that as you move out. Chest to thighs, forehead to the floor, maybe to a block today. And reach back for your feet. This embryo pose. Counter to the little belly back bend we did there, just feeling spacious across your shoulder blades. Good. And the arms come forward, block to the side, crawl yourself to the top, make your way to your back body. Once you're on your back, take a big stretch. And then reach your right arm and your right foot in opposite directions. Make the body super long on that side. And return. Same thing on the other side. Stretch, reach, return when you're ready. Good. And then from here, just going to take a nice easy twist. So bring the right knee in. Right arm on the floor, And then take an exhale, twist. Support this right leg on a bolster or a block. Shimmy that left shoulder to the left. Take your eyes to the right, just 1 minute here, twisting again. Twisting out self-doubt, negativity, bad experiences, right? Scars from another time. Breathing stays nice and full. Every time one of those planes flies over my house, I wonder where people are going. Make our way back to the back body, feet down. Take a second, feet are flat, lift your whole body up and lay yourself down so your spine is long and neutral. And then left knee in, take the twist. Support your left leg. My block is here, so I'll use it. Take the right shoulder out, rinse. Notice if your mind has drifted to what's going to be next in your day. And try to stay present all the way to the very end. And slowly unwind. Feet flat. Lift your body up and lengthen it down and just be here for a minute in a knee knock. One hand to the heart and one to the belly. Stretching your legs out long, maybe taking your bolster under your knees, arms by the sides, eyes closed. Let all of that muscular activity go. Let go of your yoga breathing. Support the back of your head as necessary. Take a deep in breath. Open your mouth, breathe it out. Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here longer if time allows. Stretch your arms over your head. Big lengthening stretch. Low back is off the ground. And then feet walk in. Give yourself a good squeeze. Little rock from side to side. And roll over to your favorite side. Use your arm as a pillow. And just pause. And then nice and easy, bring yourself to a seat. Go slow. Keep that calm and that peace that we worked really hard to cultivate. Returning into a nice, tall, cross-legged seat. Hands to the heart. Breathe in. Open your mouth, breathe out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Thumbs to lips. Your words matter. Stay hopeful. Thumbs to your third eye. Your thoughts matter. Stay hopeful. From the light in me to the same light that shines in each of you, that light that connects us all as one. Together, we'll bow and say, Namaste. Thank you guys for coming. I think it turned out to be a little longer than a half hour, but that's okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm Susan Doherty.